to get gender affirming care. So think about a situation like this. You're in Kansas, you have two parents. One of the parents brings a child to do gender affirming care in Colorado because it's pretty much the Wild West here and there's no rules on it. And let's say this Kansas, the state of Kansas has a court ruling that says the custody belongs to this other parent that's still in Kansas. You have to bring that child back. This bill is saying no. Basically, what we're calling it is like a transgender sanctuary state. They're saying we won't recognize that, and that goes directly against Article 4, Section 1 of the U.S. Constitution, which is also known as the Full Faith and Credit Clause, which says states must honor and recognize and abide by court rulings in different states. So that's another aspect to it. And then the last very big piece of this bill is about the Colorado Anti-Discrimination Act. And what it says is you can't misgender somebody in a place of public accommodation. And if you look up the Colorado Anti-Discrimination Act, a place of public accommodation, the word public is in there, but what it actually means is private businesses. It means, and there's a list in there. I mean, hotels, restaurants, airports, anywhere. And so if you are a business owner and you misgender someone, you can be in violation of the Anti-Discrimination Act.
So if you have an employee who is one day dressing up as a girl, the next day decides to be a boy, and you call that person by their former biological name, you could face all sorts of problems. So, I mean, what kind of penalties are we looking at for a business owner?
Absolutely. So you could face civil liabilities, much like if you recall the Jack Phillips case here in Colorado, right? Which is in my opinion, a First Amendment free speech case. And what they're saying, apparently Colorado's learned nothing, because the Jack Phillips case is here in Colorado, right? The baker who refused to bake a cake for certain individuals. And what we're now saying is we're basically ignoring that and saying, okay, we're going to apply this to all businesses. I don't understand how the bill sponsors can think any bit of this is constitutional. This is definitely going to drive a lawsuit. I was confident that this bill was going to die in the appropriations portion, the appropriations committee, which is where it goes after it went to the Judiciary Committee, where I heard it, because it had a $14 million price tag, $13 or $14 million price tag. So in committee, what they did was they amended out that portion and brought it down to $0. And that means that it doesn't have to go through appropriations anymore. And Colorado has a $1.2 billion budget deficit right now. So it would have certainly died in appropriations. But because they removed the fiscal note, it's no longer going there. So I don't really see any roadblock for it to go all the way to the governor's desk at this point.
And Jared Polis will likely sign it. I mean, I'm clearly he's going to be running for president. I think it's pretty clear to most of us who watch Colorado politics that so Governor Polis will likely sign this thing, and this will become the law of the land. And then, of course, this is going to be probably fought in the Supreme Court because, well, you have President Trump's executive order, which forbids key pieces of this. So they're moving forward with it regardless of what President Trump's executive order has signed.
Yeah, I would love to see President Trump, and I should just say we have Republican congressional members here, and I don't want to speak for them, but they're either already aware of this or they're going to be made aware of this. And what I would like to see is pressure coming down from the White House on Jared Polis, saying, if you sign this into law, you're in violation of my EOs. You're violating the rights of parents. You're violating school choice. You're violating First Amendment rights. You're violating the Full Faith and Credit Clause. This is going to put certain things in jeopardy for you if you sign this. And maybe that pressures Governor Polis to not sign it, which would be my hope.